Hey everyone, this is Cody.
And Sean.
This is a place to hear about the paranormal, the supernatural, and everything in between. Hey, what's up guys? It's the new reality, and guess what, Sean? It's the weekend.
Yes, must be Friday. Whoa.
Oh, thank God. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I had a long week, and I just can't do it no more.
Oh, I'm so fed up with my job. Can't we just do this forever? Can we just do paranormal investigating?
Well, that is the plan. And speaking of paranormal investigating, how's everybody doing today? So we got a great episode for you guys. Sean and I were talking, and we were talking to a couple of our buddies, and we decided to do a podcast on like the signs and the symptoms of maybe your house being subjected to being a haunting, or somebody following you home, or something in that manner.
Right. Maybe your possible attachment, different things. Again, Cody and I have been to several locations, and we've had multiple different things that have happened to us that shows that, ghosts do pass, spirits do follow you home at times. But again, we'll discuss on how to, how you rid of those things through this conversation. But this ought to be a great one for sure.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think one of the most prominent things is, somebody's sleeping and they wake up at 3 a.m. and they hear a weird sound or something like that, and the hairs get on end, and what's that? What is that? And they go investigate, and a lot of times it's just the house being an old house, right?
Right. It's funny that you say that, because this week I've been getting up at the same time, about, I'll say 2:40, 2:45, and heard some voice in my room. But again, when you have abilities and you're a medium, you tend to be a light, and when you're a light, you tend to attract spirits. So I'm not really worried about it. It's happened before.
So let me ask you, what do you think it is?
What do I think it is? I think something followed me home. Or, again, I think something that I went by, I don't even think it's one of our investigations. I think what happened is because I'm a medium, I've been working with a lot of people that have been struggling through grief when it comes to family members and issues. So I communicate with these people, and I believe there's a level of them understanding that I understand that they're there. So they want to get someone, they're trying to communicate through me so they can talk to their loved ones.
Makes sense.
I think I have a reading this weekend, and I think that's what I'm hearing. It's the person's loved one trying to contact me. So
right on. Yeah, I don't get the feeling of anything negative either. I think it's something just kind of sitting around, curious and wanting to be heard.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Sean? When somebody says, "Hey, my house is haunted," or they think their house is haunted, what kind of signs or symptoms are we looking for?
So, there's really, sometimes you get the ever so slight signs that there's something there. Maybe it's, your light in your room slowly turns off and it shuts off. You think it's a burned out bulb, and you're able to click it back on. That might be something that's a paranormal, or, again, I don't want to jump to conclusions. If it happens more than once, then yeah, maybe I'd start looking at it. Maybe you start feeling emotionally different than you would normally, and you don't know why. But again, if you're an empath, that might be just you absorbing other people's feelings. But again, I think it's consistent. If you see something and then all of a sudden it happens again and it happens again, and if your mind, because again, spirit is always trying to talk to you, if you have a thought that maybe something's there, I would look into it, and then just really pay attention, because, if something really is there, it's going to find its way to show itself. And it could be with electronics. That's the most prominent way of showing, or spirit showing it's there.
Right.
Also, I got a great story, and it's in the lines of knowing that something paranormal was in my house. It was because of my abilities. As we spoke before, I had the meditation group, and this was you were doing the meditation group with us at this time, but you weren't there at this meditation group. It was really a strange meditation group session. I had two ladies that aren't affiliated in any way. One lady she's a psychotherapist, and the other lady was just a friend of mine that was going to the group. She was a younger lady. So we did our meditation, and again, that's a miracle in itself. You start connecting with the people that are in the group. But we were done with the meditation, and after the meditation we talk a little bit, and one of the ladies, she's really a sensitive as well, but she just kind of pushes it down. She goes, I don't even know why I'm going to say this, but she goes, because I don't normally talk about my clients because, it's just my oath as a counselor not to do that. But she goes, I feel really strongly that I need to bring this up. So what she brings up is she's got this gentleman that she's counseling that his wife had committed suicide, and he was grieving about it. He felt that it was his fault. She did it. Why did he leave the house? So basically, what happened was they had come home from a party, and his wife was just in an ugly way, and she forgot her bag at the party. Well, so he left her there, and she was distraught and angry and upset. But he just said, okay, well, I'm going to go get your bag. And he went to get the bag. And when he was gone to get the bag, she committed suicide. So she was telling us the story to us, right? And I'm looking over at the young lady that, again, these two aren't connected in any way, just by meditation group. She's got her eyes big, and she's like, oh, my God, that guy that you're talking about, his wife had approached her children and was really disrespectful to them at that party. And she actually had complained to me 2 days previous about this nasty woman that was treating her kids ugly. And she's like, I can't believe the nerve of this woman. Well, all of a sudden, I looked at both of them and realized that the woman knew that we were talking about her, and she showed up. She showed up frantic. Again, these people didn't see it, but they both knew that they were talking about the same situation, but two spectrums, two sides of the story.
Right.
And that woman knew that, and she showed up at my house. And she was screaming in my ear while I've got 4 or 5 people around me. That's probably about 4 or 5, and maybe 6.
Now, when you say she showed up, you mean psychically?
Energetically, she showed up. Her spirit showed up. She was screaming in my ear. I mean, it was a ringing, and I could, with my mind's eye, I could see her just panicked. She was off her rocker because she knew she made a mistake. She knew she blew it. So she was just beating on herself in the energy, obviously in the spirit world. She hadn't passed over. So I had to say, listen, you need to stop. And I'm saying this in front of my group here that probably think I'm out of my mind, but the one lady knows me, so she knew that I'm gifted, and I communicate to spirit.
Right.
So going back into it, so that meditation group quit. The night was late. I said, guys, I'll deal with her after you guys leave. I saw everybody out, and I have a motion light that's hooked up to my garage. It's got a little solar panel, no backup batteries, and the thing will go off once, and then it doesn't work anymore the rest of the night because of it doesn't hold charge. Well, that night I decided, I had walked past it, way past the motion sensor, and the light turned on. I wasn't even in front of the motion sensor; it just turned on by itself, and I was like, wait a minute, that shouldn't be on. So then I stood behind it and I said, okay, are you the woman that was at the meditation group? And I said, if you are, turn the light off. Bink, turned off. Just right on cue. I asked her again, I need you to, prove to me you're here, turn the light on, and it turned on. So I started counseling her, and basically she told me she wasn't leaving. She wasn't leaving because she knew she left things in disarray and that she needed to work on that. Well, she stuck around, I want to say 3-4 days, and then I didn't feel her anymore. So I think, she was all over the place. I think she was visiting her family, trying to resolve it in her own way while being passed over.
Right.
It was amazing. The woman that, the therapist, again, she's sensitive, but she's like a sister to me. She contacted me afterwards and said, hey, how's it going? Were you able to clear it? because she knew she was there.
Absolutely.
Amazing. It was amazing. It was mind-blowing. Again, this is where I was really starting to come into my own as far as mediumship. But yeah.
So it was one of your first experiences after realizing that you had these gifts, correct?
No, there's been several, but this was the most defined as far as the woman was in trauma because of the suicide.
Right.
And I don't truly believe that when someone commits suicide, they go to this burning grave of hell. And I don't believe any of that. I think that, we have contractual obligations that we made when we were in the divine space. And I think that, if you do commit suicide, I think there's still a level of you in a grieving motion. That's why she stayed, to resolve what she felt in her mind she destroyed. Again, I think as a human energy, a spirit, if you will, she still had unfinished business. And so she had to feel comfortable about leaving the location because at that point she felt like she left everything in disarray. So I think she had to feel good about transitioning.
Right.
I think that happened. I don't know if it did because she left the location of my home, because that's not where she wanted to be. She wanted to be around her family.
Well, we see that a lot, right? We see those energies not wanting to leave, or being attached to something or an object, or or whatever the case may be. And
Portland case, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The private investigation we had in Portland, the lady didn't want to leave because she was so obsessed with her business, right? It was hers and her thing, and she didn't want anybody touching it. But more often than not, we see that at a lot of places we go to. Really, that's why there's ghosts there, right? Because they don't want to leave.
Right. Or on the opposite side, they're trying to figure out how to leave.
Right.
So me and Cody being having the gifts, we're lighting up to these spirits. They may not know how to get to the next level, and so I know when I was younger and I didn't know how to control it, I had a lot of dreams about spirits, and I truly believe what was happening was I was either crossing them when I was asleep, or they were looking to me to help them cross when I was asleep.
So that actually brings me to an amazing thought. So this podcast was going to go a certain way, but I think it's transitioning into a different way. But I want to tell everybody about the prominent dream that I have, the reoccurring one, and the one that you have.
Right.
I'll go ahead and start mine. But so this is a little off. It's not really off topic of ghosts, but it is in that realm.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So when I was living in my parents' house a couple years ago, a while back, I would have these crazy, crazy bad night terrors or sleep paralysis, if that's what you want to call it. Suffered for it for years. I still get them every now and again. They're horrible. I hate them. We'll have to do another podcast about how to control that. But anyway, so I would have this dream, and I would tell Sean about it. I'd be sleeping, and these lights would appear outside of my window.
Well,
yeah,
goosebumps
and it's weird because it's in pieces. So forgive me, but basically, I see these lights, and all of a sudden it goes black. I wake up screaming, and I go to my room, to the door, and I try and open it. And so the way I open my door is you have to open it like towards me, right? I can't push it. So all I remember doing is pushing my hands on the door. I don't even touch the doorknob. Touch the door, and then bam, I'm in my parents' room on my dad's bedside. And I'm like, apparently I'm saying to my dad, don't let him take me, don't let him take me. And my dad's like, what are you talking about? Like, how'd you get in here so fast? I heard a bam, and you were right next to my my bed. And I don't remember any, during the night, I didn't remember anything.
Still getting goosebumps.
Right? So I would have that reoccurring, and I think that goes hand in hand with because I would see a figure in my dream as well. A red cloak, kind of looked like somebody from Star Wars. And
so again, this isn't all paranormal here. It's we both have experienced things that are outside of the paranormal.
Right.
So what we're getting at is supernatural stuff. When you have abilities, it's not just in this plane. It's recognized throughout in several different planes. Sometimes I think there's energies outside of this plane that seek gifted. So Cody talking about, I'm gonna put it out there. Are we talking about extraterrestrial?
So my personal belief, especially with sleep paralysis, yeah, I think we are talking about extraterrestrial. I don't think that's every case.
Right.
I mean, you can look it up. Scientists are freaking baffled by sleep paralysis. Nobody really has a defined explanation, but I 100% believe it's extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe I was abducted. I'm not that weird.
Yeah. But you guys got to understand, we've seen multiple air spaceships in different locations. I don't understand it, but it's amazing that we've been to Sedona. We've seen aircraft leave the ground and go into space. We've been to Ysetty Ranch. We saw UFOs. We've seen
outside of our own freaking house.
Yeah, I had a dream, and I was the same woman that had witnessed this woman that had committed suicide. We were kind of dating, and I had this vivid dream that I, out of my window, I looked up and there was skyscrapers in the sky. And I'm going, what the hell is clouds and a skyscraper doing outside? And I got UFO because it was one or two or three of them, but they were huge. What's ironic about that is 2 years later, I think it was Japan or China, they had a picture of a bunch of clouds with skyscrapers in the sky. It was exactly what I saw in my dream.
Wow.
And that was 2 years previous. The same night, the girl I was dating had a dream that she was inside of a spaceship and that she was talking to beings. Another night comes a couple, I want to say three weeks later, I had another dream where saucers were outside of my slider window. There was three of them. They were saucer shaped. They were hovering there. They were looking for me. Lights were flashing all through my house. And all I could do is, I felt like I was just hiding. And the lady I was dating, was with me in the dream. That same night, she had a dream that she was inside of a ship and there was pods with human-like beings inside.
That is crazy.
So, again, what is that about, right?
Right.
So again, are we connecting with other beings?
Right.
And
or are they connecting with us?
Right. And are they malicious? No, I didn't get that. Scary because it's not the normal, what we feel is the normal, quote unquote.
Right.
But again, it's just, man, what we understand isn't necessarily what we see with our eyes.
Well, there's so much out there, right? I mean, you can't be naive to think that we're the only ones out. We're the only ones here, because there's so many witnesses and there's so many personal experiences and there's so many things that people have that they just don't understand.
Right.
And even in the paranormal, like, we could think we're talking to ghosts, and in reality, we're not. We're talking to a freaking, I don't know, big alien or something,
Well, let's talk about when we were in Sedona. We were looking around. There's this place, what was it, Stardust or something. It was a location where they saw UFOs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
it was an old ranch.
Yeah, and we were looking to go, let's see if we can, because we're all about it, right?
Absolutely.
So let's go check it out. So we show up to the place, we get out of the vehicle, and we both hear a whinny. It sounds like a horse, like,
I mean, clear as day, right next to the car.
So we're like, okay, well, there's a horse right there. So we nonchalantly walk over there thinking there's a horse because we heard it. There was nothing. And all day long, we kept seeing horses.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I have no idea. But
I'm going to sum it up to be extraterrestrial. I'm just kidding.
But, like, why a horse, right? Why would maybe like a different dimensional portal was there? Or
maybe it wasn't a horse.
Or maybe it wasn't a horse.
Maybe it was something that was trying to communicate in a different language. I'm reaching out. I'm
right.
reaching probably from strings here, but... hey, why not? Let's make it interesting.
No, absolutely.
Just another experience. But, that was, again, we've had a lot of those type of experiences as well. And can we understand them? We're investigating it. We want to figure it out. We want to know what it's about.
And that's why we have our equipment, right? I mean, our equipment validates what we feel and what we, see or what have you, and we can pick them up with our camera or hear them with our our audio recordings or even the K2, which is our favorite device.
I love K2s. But I just think that everybody should keep an open mind. Yeah, these things may seem a little bit different than what we're used to, but things are changing, and I more often than not, I keep hearing the word the veil's thinning, and I think with the transition that the human beings are making, you keep all of a sudden we're talking about space armies. Come on, man. We're already creating spaceships. I don't know that from my line of work, because my line of work is aerospace, but it's not in that industry. But you picked up when you were going to work. You saw on two separate occasions. You saw what looked like an organic spaceship.
Yeah.
If you go on Instagram, it's pixelated, kind of ugly, but because he took it on his phone, but he saw that. He took a picture of that. And if you want to look us up on Instagram to look at it, you have to zoom in on it, and it's not the best picture, but Cody caught that on his phone.
Right, and I wasn't even looking. I was at work. I just come outside and I look at him all. Oh,
what the hell is that?
What is that? So I take a picture. I call my buddy out. It's still sitting there, and I call my buddy. He comes out. Dude, look at this. Both take a picture. Gone.
Did you crap your pants?
A little bit. No.
RP, whatever. But to talk about the other gentleman, because remember the other one, which I believe might have been our own aircraft.
Is that the merry-go-round looking one?
Yeah.
So that one is crazy, dude. So it's in the middle of the desert, and I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's in the middle of the desert. We're working, and we see off to the right a bunch of lights spinning around in circle, flying.
Multiple colors.
Multiple colors, red, white, blue, yellow, all of it. And it's just spinning and spinning and spinning. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It looks like a freaking merry-go-round floating in space. Yeah. And he took, I do have video of this actually. He took video of it, and it is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. It was super hard to like kind of focus on what it actually was. So the video is all.
No, when you sent it to me, it was clear.
Was it?
It was moving around a lot, but if you just pause the recording, because again, it was a video, you could see as clear as day it was a ship. And I've seen that same ship in multiple pictures, because I say it all the time that when I was younger, I liked looking at spaceships.
Yeah.
And I liked spirits. And through all of the investigating and all the pictures and things I looked up from when I was young until today, there was multiple pictures with that looked just like that.
Right.
Was it our own aircraft? Was it human beings? Or was it outside?
That's why we call it UFO, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
But again, we're interested. If it's an opportunity to investigate it and try to understand it better, we're going to do it.
Absolutely. Well, hey guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Sean and I did want to try something new at the end of our podcast. We're actually going to implement a EVP that we caught. It's probably one of our most prominent ones. So please enjoy that. If you do enjoy it, give us a like on all of our social media and click the follow button.
Hey, and it might be a new trend. We'll see, because we do have a lot of things in our account. We've got a lot of things in our library. We want to share some of the things we've captured with you guys.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any stories, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on any of our social media accounts or our own personal email, which is thenewreality11@gmail.com.
And again, keep your eyes peeled. Our website's going to be coming up pretty soon here, and we'd love for you guys to check it out.
Cool. Have a good day, guys.
Take care.
I want to talk with you.